let me introduce you. Today, it's our honor to have John here. John Lee is Leo's PhD student, and he was about to graduate later this year. Congratulations on that. And I was his examiner in his provisional year presentation. So far, in my experience at the University of Auckland, he was the best for the first year PhD. So today he will talk about research in early media, like customers review, sentiment analysis, etc. And he has already published 2 papers on this topic. So let's welcome John. Thank you.
Thank you for your introduction, Cynthia. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge about my research topic. My name is John Lee, and I'm PhD student of marketing department, and I'm also interested in artificial intelligence, and my second supervisor is in the engineering department. Today we will deal with emotion and artificial intelligence, 2 things. So before I start the presentation, I wanted to ask you something. You got the paper, right? Yeah. So do you think machine can detect human emotion, or machine can recognize human emotion?
If you provide evidence, yes.
Yeah, I would say recognize. Yeah, facial expression and like breathing, heartbeat, to some extent.
Yeah, so everybody agree with that? Yeah, because the public opinion changed a lot, because few years ago when I was in my master's, I asked to my supervisor, I wanted to do some emotion research, and that can detect human emotion by using the machine learning algorithm. But my supervisor told me, no, machine never detect human emotion. That's almost impossible. Even it should not be research topic. Yeah, but I think maybe machine can detect human emotion using the probability. For example, if we think something I like, when we see the cat, then maybe we can feel it's so adorable. Or you can see the snake. Oh, I hate it. Yeah. Maybe some people doesn't agree with that statement, but that's, I believe, in specific situation we react almost the same emotion. Not the same, not the for every, but the probability is maybe a high to react the same emotion. So why not the machine can detect human emotion by using the probability? Yeah. So that's why I started my research about emotion and artificial intelligence. And this is some sample I collected from tweet. So later we can check. Can you write down some emotion, one of the emotion out of the 6 emotion: joy, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, disgust. So you can write down any emotion that expressed in the original tweet.
Can I have a copy too?
Maybe
That's the answer.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah, maybe you can have 1-2 minutes, so we can check later who is better, human or machine, to detect the other's emotion. But in this case, we only use the text information, not a facial expression or gesture. So maybe it feels difficult to detect the original emotion expressed in the tweet. So,
Yeah, I need people to put the emoticon, like the emoji, so then I can understand the sort of like tone they want to put.
that's true. That's true. I totally understand that. So. That's a bit difficult, right? So some context I don't understand. Just for fun, not too serious.
Maybe just like the question mark, something like this matters. It may have a question mark or some highlights.
No, I deleted all those special characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because machine usually doesn't recognize the special character.
Oh, okay. CC probably is a person.
CC is a video person.
Yeah, I'm picking her up.
Who's CC? CC ain't. Who's CC? Ah, CC. You CC someone? I don't know, I just don't have the emojis.
Yeah, when you check the answer, I show you my personal motivation, so you can have time to solve the So before I started my PhD, my wife worked at the Takafuna Primary School as a teacher to teach special student, autistic student. And she sometimes come to house and complain about it's too difficult job because the autistic student also have a difficulty to understand others' emotion because they are likely to focus on themselves, not the others. So I thought maybe I can make some emotion translator for autistic student. So as an international student, the Korean, I sometimes use the Google Translator. So translate from Korean to English. So if this autistic student can have an emotion translator, and if they have some conversation with others, and the conversation recognized in the smartphone app, and that smartphone machine can understand the conversation and showing the emotion on the screen. For example, nobody likes my funny joke, and we are talking about that one, and then computer recognize, oh, it must be sad, and they can see the other's emotion on the screen, and that. So I believe later I can make this emotion translator, and I believe that this autistic student can have can reduce the emotion barrier to communicate with others. Yeah, that's my motivation of my PhD thesis. So why emotion is so important? Because nowadays in the internet there is so vast of information on the internet, and this information usually consists of text, tweets, Facebook posts, sometimes picture and movie, but most of them consist of text or Reddit comment or news, or everything is consists of text. But how can we analyze or extract opinion from the text, online text? So traditionally, research focused on the sentiment analysis, which means we can extract positive, neutral, or negative sentiment from the text. But I believe we can also extract some human's emotion from the large online text. So today, after presentation, we will collect Bitcoin tweet, tweet mentioning Bitcoin, and also tweets mentioning Ethereum, and also we will collect tweets mentioning some emotion, anger, joy, and panic. So using the emotion tweets, we can build latest machine learning algorithm to detect the emotion, to analyze Bitcoin and Ethereum tweets. Yeah. So I show you how we can utilize this data and machine learning algorithm. Yeah. So previous research focused on the sentiment analysis, which is negative, neutral, and positive. So that's very simple analysis. So, for example, the text brilliant effort guys should be positive, right? Or totally dissatisfied, that should be negative. But human emotion is not simply divided in the positive or negative, because we have diverse emotion. For example, when we see the saddest book, tragic book, then the emotion who read that book should be sad, right? Or, for example, if we see the funny book, comic books, we should feel joy or fun. Yeah, that's the positive emotion, and that's the desired outcome when we analyze the context. But when we see the sad book, we should feel sad or tragic. That's negative emotion, negative sentiment. Then if you analyze the comment of that book, then many people mention, I'm too sad, I'm almost crying, blah, blah, blah. And then we analyze, when we did sentiment analysis, we can get a result. The comments are all negative. But that's not true, right? Yeah. So in this case, we should think that negative emotions are actually positive opinion. And that's why we should focus on specific emotion rather than simple sentiment analysis. But when we try to analyze large amount of the online text, there is some limitation. Of course, we cannot analyze that amount of, for example, million tweets by human annotator. For example, some papers suggest that it should be take 15 years by 18 annotator to analyze or detect emotion in the text, like this. So people check all the emotion and about 4 to 5 annotator, and they make an agreement chart, and this emotion, this text should be sad or joy or something like this. But when you use artificial intelligence, it takes only 45 minutes when you analyze the million tweets. Yeah. And also the previous research utilized the sentiment lexicon or text analysis software. But this software and sentiment lexicon approach also had a limitation, because this approach focused on the text, the word, not a sentence. It means that when machine see the two different sentences, I like apple and I don't like apple, when focus on the word, not the sentence, I like apple, in that sentence, like has a positive meaning. So computer recognize, oh, that should be positive or joy. But in terms of the I don't like apple, actually don't does not have any sentiment. I don't hate apple, I don't like apple, don't doesn't have any meaning, any sentiment. So computer recognize I don't like apple as a positive emotion. And that's the problem of the word-focused analysis method. Yeah. And that's why we should focus on the latest machine learning algorithm, because that machine learning algorithm actually understands the whole context of the sentence. So machine learning can understand I like apple is not a I don't like apple. I don't like apple, actually I hate apple or something. Yeah. So did you solve the PP? Yeah, this is the answer. So you can match the answer. And you can see, yeah, only I know I think only we can share later. So when I did this same survey with a small sample size participant, the average score was around 50. Yeah, 50 to 60. Not too high because we only see the text. And also, one of the reasons the recognizing the other's emotion is so low is I think maybe we don't have the all the experience we couldn't have. For example, some tweet may mention about a computer game. So, for example, I played God of War 3 and I spent the whole life. So, if we don't know about God of War 3, we cannot recognize their emotion. But computer, they trained on best of information, large information that already mentioned God of War 3, and that game should be a good game or bad game, so he feels like sad or something. Yeah. So that's the difference of the computer and humans. So how much did you get?
No.
I think I got 9 right.
Yeah, 9, usually 50.
No, 50%, 50.
Yeah, 50 is quite a normal idea. Yeah.
Are you done?
But surprisingly, when I analyze same text with artificial intelligence model, the average accuracy was 84%. Yeah. So, yeah, that's impressive. So if we wanted to develop the emotion detection model, we need two fundamental things. One is obviously machine learning algorithm, and second is the big data. Big data to train the machine learning algorithm. So computer already read all the tweets about, for example, the gaming or medical or all the field. Then it can recognize the maybe expressing some certain word, that person should express some certain specific emotion. That's why we need big data. And as Sylvia mentioned before, I published 2 papers, and first paper is about how to develop machine learning algorithm to mimic human emotional development stage. Means that actually the emotion is very ambiguous. Yeah. So, for example, in this sample, maybe some people feel different emotion in the same sentence. So, as I mentioned before, if someone see the cat, most of people can feel, that's too cute and I feel joy. For some people, when he was or she was baby and cat attacked the baby and the baby had a trauma and I feel so unhappy when I saw the cat. Yeah, so every people have different emotion. And that's, we cannot say someone is right or someone is wrong. So in psychology the study, nowadays the traditional theory about emotion theory, they suggest that people have all same emotion and it's born with. For example, people have 6 different emotion, and when we have a certain specific situation, every people react same emotion. But nowadays, about 10 years ago, some researchers argue, no, we have all different emotion. That's based on our experience from the lifetime. So how we can detect emotion, that ambiguous emotion? So in that paper, I suggest that, like human development, we can learn all the different individual emotion, collecting large amount of the tweet, more than 5 million tweets, to understand, to train all the different emotion of the individual. Then train again that model, use the socially agreed emotion. That's very small data set, but at least 4 annotators agree with some emotion. Then that emotion model can recognize in certain specific situation, people must feel in some certain specific emotion. So you know the ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
Yeah, ChatGPT learn whole bunch of the text in the internet. But sometimes people think ChatGPT is too smart, but if you try ChatGPT and maybe you can feel that the answer is a bit weird. Sometimes weird, right? And some article concerned about the answer of the ChatGPT. Yeah, maybe ChatGPT wanted to destroy the human or something. Blah, blah, blah. But why ChatGPT cannot answer the correct answer sometimes? That's the paradox. If ChatGPT learned, trained on some specific domain, for example, Wikipedia or encyclopedia, yeah, there is some formed text, then it will answer the good answer. Yeah, but then it cannot answer all the questions. Because humans' questions are so diverse and every people feel all different, so it cannot deal with all the humans' experience. But this machine learning learned a lot of the information, then there is a lot of chance it answered the wrong answer because it's all based on the probability. So if you think some group post about some certain topic. For example, Earth is flat, and many people posted the same topic. I think Earth is flat, and maybe more than 50% people posted the same topic about on the internet. I think Earth is flat. Then ChatGPT think Earth is flat because that's high probability. Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's so in paper one, I argue that we can learn from all the different emotion, individual emotion, but then we should train it again with some answer emotion, that socially agreed emotion. So maybe I think I'm not expert on the ChatGPT. ChatGPT maybe we train on some answer document, like a Wikipedia or I don't know, but yeah, some good answers. And maybe that's how machine learning can develop in the future. Yeah. And also paper 2, I published analyzing the COVID situation, and previous paper analyzed the COVID situation using the traditional methodology, focused on the word, the emotion lexicon. And they found that people feel trust and happy in COVID situation. Did you agree?
Weird.
Not sure about the joy one, but
So that's a bit weird for me because the COVID situation is not happy for me. So I analyzed that tweet again with machine learning algorithm, and actually I found that people feel fear and anger, all the negative emotion in the COVID situation. So that paper suggests that we should apply latest machine learning algorithm rather than the traditional word-based methodology.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So your first paper, you talk about training from like publicly recognized emotions. So I'm thinking like, while you're training, can you give a weight? For example, for ChatGPT, it is training based on all the information on internet. So can they give a weight? Say the information I found from Wikipedia, I 100% like trust it, 80% trust it. And for information I found on Twitter, on Facebook, I only trust 20%. Is there any algorithm to consider this?
That makes sense, but sometimes it is really hard to categorize which is the true answer and which is the false answer. Yeah, that's really good approach, I think, but so I'm thinking about what is the truth in the internet, but there is so many controversial about some topic, and even in Wikipedia, I saw some false information. So
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like a relevance. I have two information resources. Which one should I trust more? If I'm a human, I trust like government maybe, and then maybe the media, the public media, and then maybe social media. So that's my takeaway as a person. So that's why I think for algorithm, maybe we can design something similar. Yeah. But you're right, like which one is more having more authority? It's another question. How to rank? Yeah.
But that's good approach. Yeah, we should focus on some solution to tackle with misinformation. Otherwise, we cannot trust on the artificial intelligence. Yeah. So in Ekman's emotion theory, he suggests that people have 6 different emotions. That's traditional emotion theory. But nowadays, many other research also suggest no, people have 4 different emotion, basic emotion, or 6, or 8, or 20, or 24. Yeah, so many emotion theory. Yeah, but still, Ekman's emotion theory is widely used emotion theory and most recognized emotion theory. So I adapt that emotion theory to analyze the text and when we make a model. And how we connect the tweet or other SNS site, I suggest that you can apply, if you apply the Twitter API at the Twitter site, then you can collect 500,000 per month for free. Yeah. And if you have a very specific research proposal, then you can approve academic research API. Then you can collect 10 million tweets per month for free. That costs about $2,000 per month. They are very generous about researcher. So if you have any plan to collect a tweet, it's very simple. Just apply on the internet, Twitter developer site. Then you can get the approved from the Twitter. Yeah. Then you can easily collect the tweet. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just a thought. Why was collecting emotion through tweets chosen? I was just thinking about it. Wouldn't it be better and more accurate if we can observe people's day-to-day life and how they feel, or like, and then collect emotions? Because on Twitter, you're still writing out, but there are so many emotions that you don't even know how to describe. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. So actually, the previous research, they already tried to collect from the day-to-day life. So they asked, I believe, 5,000 people to write about a certain situation. No, for 6 different emotions. So joy, can you describe your situation? And about anger, can you describe your recent experience? And they collect 5,000 data set. But that's good, but that's too small still. 5,000 is not enough to train artificial intelligence model. And when we think some specific situation, emotion, that's very, how can I say, common situation. So if we think some situation express joy, maybe I can say, I liked my holiday with my family member, right? That's the very common answer. But in the Twitter or other site, if you search some emotion text, you should be surprised. People feel so diverse. For example, I saw one comment in the tweet. He lost car key, the room key at the motel. So he spent hour in his car listening his favorite music. So he feel happy, joy. Yeah. So this kind of the experience is really hard to get from the day-to-day experience. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with John. Like from day-to-day experience, costs too much. You need to follow them, and also theoretically that changes people's behavior as well. If I'm holding a camera, taking record of your life for the whole day, that changes your behavior as well. And also for Twitter case, the thing I think that is really interesting is one, it generates a huge amount of data. Secondly, it is short. It is happening instantly. This is my day's experience. I feel angry or happy at this moment. I tweet it right away. But for what he said, describe like 5,000 observations, say, try to remember something like make you happy before. You see, that experience is like happened long ago. people in their mind has already digest a lot. So maybe what they wrote was not true. That is also possible. So that's why I feel here Twitter data is a good place to training like emotions, sentiment analysis, because it generates a lot of data. And this is challenging because people really write short, and actually this challenge is good for training the algorithm. Yeah, that's just my thought.
Thank you.
And also, there is some limitation if we only collect a tweet, because if we make a machine learning model only by using the tweet, then that model only works well in the tweet text. Yeah, not a Facebook text or conversation, phone conversation or Reddit comment. Yeah, so maybe all the site, they have a different characteristic, short or long, or they use the formal word or slang word. Yeah. So in the first paper, I collected my tweet data plus I used 10 other published data set, already published in the previous papers. This text coming from the survey or use text or Reddit comment, yeah, all other different sources. Then we can make a generalized performance model. Yeah. Any good answer? Thank you. So I strongly recommend apply the Twitter API. It's free and easy to apply. And today we don't have enough time to apply the Twitter API. It will take 2-3 days. So I show you the old library that can collect a tweet without Twitter API. Yeah. So later I'll show you. In terms of the machine learning algorithm, nowadays transformer model is the best. What is transformer model? So transformer model always read all the books and articles and the whole bunch of the text in the internet, and it can recognize all the relationship of the world. What does it mean of the relationship of the world? So for example, what happened? King minus man. King minus man.
Is this a sentence or free?
No, there is the relation of that's the dimension.
Okay.
Yeah, of the relationship of the whole world. So king has a certain relationship, position. And man also has the, for example, if we have, so this is the y-axis, and this axis presents the power. So on this axis, there should be a man and there should be a king. And maybe this x-axis represents the gender. And so this area represents the man, and this area represents the woman. So there should be man here, king here, woman here, queen here, right? So if we minus the king minus man, then it goes to this axis, and king became a queen. The answer is queen. So in the transform model, it recognizes it has all the dimensions, different dimensions, and has all the relationship, whole different world. Actually, that transformer model or GTP model also based on the transformer model. But the important thing is that this transformer model doesn't understand the meaning of the word. it doesn't know what is king, what is queen, or what is man, what is woman. It doesn't know. Yeah. But it knows queen and queen are very close. And if we minus the gender dimension on the king, for example, king minus man, then it can calculate the probability. The answer is should be queen. Yeah. Or wolf minus pet, then it goes the dog. Yes.
How to define these dimensions in the algorithm? Is defined outside by the programmer, or is automatically
no.
decided by the algorithm?
Actually, computer decide.
Okay.
Computer get all the text and analyze the closed word. So maybe queen usually appear with the queen, or dog are very close to the wolf, not a cat.
Oh,
But
I see.
in the pet dimension, dog very close to the cat, not a wolf.
I see. So it's like association.
Yeah.
From all the information, I see king and queen shows up the most. It's very similar to
Yeah,
marketing.
very simple. The idea, concept is very simple.
Okay.
And I gave you another paper, right? So this algorithm actually uses the deep learning. So do you know what is the mean of the deep in the deep learning? What is deep? Deep knowledge? Deep analysis?
Reinforcing ability.
No. In the case of the deep learning, deep means multi-layer. Yeah, not a single layer. What is the meaning of the multi-layer and single layer? This is the answer. So I show you. If we have, in this graph, we have stars and circles, right? In single layer, that's the regression model we always use. We usually use the straight line to classify the group. But in this case, can you draw any single straight line to divide the two groups, star and circle? For example, can you draw something like this? Can you divide it into the two specific groups? Yeah, circles and stars. That's the long dilemma in the computer science about 10 years.
It's so
Nobody can solve this problem in single layer. The answer is we can use deep layer, deep learning. What is deep learning? Deep learning can make an additional dimension. See? It can make a two dimension, two layer. Hold this one. Then, if I draw a line to here, that's the dimension. So it goes, this line goes like this. Then you can see one straight line make a perfect classification. Yeah. There is a mathematical proof how it works. Yeah.
And now we can do it in kindergarten.
So that's how the deep learning work and the transformer model work. They made so many layers, 500 more layers, but that's all unsupervised. The machine learn by themselves to understand what is different dimension and what is the relationship of the world. as you can see, the BOLT model run using 3,300 million words. And unsupervised learning, it can learn all the relationship of the world. Then we can use that model, simply download it and train our own data set. And for example, the I am happy sentence should be joy, right? Then train that pre-trained model using our data set. This kind of word should be joy. Then next time, computer receives some unseen data. For example, I am not happy, I am excited or something. Happy and excited are very close words. Then it can calculate I am happy and I am excited should be a same emotion, joy. And I found some interesting sentence using that model. So I put one sentence. I should stay with my husband all day long. Then computer think, oh, you should be sad. Yeah, so it can understand should stay all day long with husband. Yeah, or I put the other sentence. For example, I got an email from my supervisor. Then computer say, oh, you must be feared. Yeah. So then computer understand PhD student got an email from supervisor and he feel frustrated or something. Yeah. But for previous machine learning algorithm or transition algorithm, they cannot understand the context. So it is impossible at the previous algorithm. But nowadays it's possible using this latest deep learning language model. So for example, this is some certain sample. When I used to write wedding vow or reading, but since COVID, yeah, it's too sad. And then when I input this kind of sentence, then we can have a probability of the emotions. So computer think this sentence, there is probability to be a sadness with 80% accuracy. Or second one, pandemic is painful. Blah blah, may endure coronavirus, and then it think it should be happy, right? Vaccine do not cause autism, stop spreading lies, anti-vaxxer, and people fear should be fear with confidence of 98%. So it's simply classification problem. Yeah. So computer can calculate human emotion based on the probability. So we can, this is the emotion, but we can change this word with other things. For example, if you want to make some model that can predict the stock, then you can collect some tweet. The price goes up day, you can collect some tweet, and price goes down day, you can collect another tweet. Then you can make up and down probability calculator model. So when you put some tweet, then you can predict, next day it should be go up or it should be go down. So you can use any word to classify the text. Emotion is one of just the sample. It's all probability problem. So after the presentation in the lab session, I show you the sample code using the Python. So is there anybody familiar with Python?
They have learned it.
Yeah, we have learned it before.
That's good, that's good. So in this case, you don't need to worry about the code. Yeah, we will use the core app, the internet language tool provided by the Google. So you don't need to install anything. Yeah, you can just connect to the core app. Then you can code the Python code. Then you can download my sample code and just click the run step by step. Then you can have a result. And later you can change some code or modify some code. And in this code, I actually use that code to the engineering student. And I voluntarily teach the engineering student who develop a robot. And in the robotic class, this emotion detection model is important also for engineering student, because if robot can recognize human emotion, then, for example, you have a robot, assume that this is robot. Then I talk with, I have a tired day, and then this robot recognizes my voice and change it to the text and calculate my emotion, and he must be sad and express or gesture some empathy, my emotion. Or you must be sad, and can I play some cheerful music for you or something like that? Yeah. And that emotion model actually used by the engineering department, the student, and they made a robot and embedded that model into the robot, and they made the emotional robot to connect with the user. Yeah. And yeah. There is so many usage to use this model, not even for the business school and also in the engineering school. So I show you after presentation, and you can see how it works. And do you have any question? This is my background of my research. Thank you very much.